We've seen this a lot at film festivals in the last couple of years, that these platforms are really amplifying, especially Palestinian films or films about Palestine. There's kind of like a dual thread there, and encouraging distributors to pick them up, show them around the world, whether it's in North America, Europe, here in the UAE, here in the GCC. So yeah, I'm really hoping that it isn't too long before we see The Voice of Hind Rajab in cinemas here or on a streamer here. A 5-year-old girl who was asking for help, who then it was impossible for emergency services to get to that 5-year-old girl. She was sat in a car with her dead relatives around her. Like every single part of that narrative is just straight cruelty.
And there are countless stories like this, but it still helps to pick out some of these stories, give them a name, give them a face. Yeah. For people to actually contextualise.
Literally a voice.
And literally a voice. You know, that's why everyone goes into cinema. People go into cinema because they want to, you know, tell a story that has impact on this world and is seen in that way. Hello, everyone. Today we are going to talk about the reaction the Hind Rajab film has received at Venice.
And a controversial novel with a very significant age gap.
This is Culture Bites, coming to you every Thursday. I'm Enas and Farah.
And I'm Farah Andrews. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm really well.
Good.
I am having a great moment in life. I feel like the Eclipse. Did you see it?
I loved it so much.
Now, I feel like it's actually shifted something. Maybe this is way too witchy-woo.
You do like going woo-woo.
I do like going a bit woo-woo. But there's also, you know, Islamically, there's a prayer for the eclipse.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah. And I do feel like it's nice to acknowledge these like absolutely spectacular, like out of this world, literally moments that we can like view from our balconies.
Did you see, I mean, I saw it with my own eyeballs, which was wonderful. But then, did you see on Sheikh Hamdan, the Crown Prince of Dubai's Instagram, he posted he took footage of the whole eclipse. And it's like a diagonal line of the moon in the sky with the blood moon in the middle.
Oh, wow. I didn't see that.
It's a really amazing photograph.
Oh, I have to do that.
I will send it to you and we can maybe pop it in the show notes. But it was amazing. We were very lucky. We were at my brother's house and he has this window where you could really see it out the window. So we saw the beginning of the eclipse there and then we walked home and then I was like, I can see it more and more. And then Eddie had like alarms set, so we just kept on going outside and seeing it. And then at like 10:15, went outside and it was a full blood moon. It was amazing.
My story, a little bit more dramatic.
Oh, please.
So I put the kids to bed and I was like, I'm going to sit and watch this from my bedroom window. I actually I could see almost all of it until it got too high and then I had to get out onto the balcony. I was like, I'm just going to sit here, be in this moment.
That's lovely.
Maybe I'll burn some sage.
You've entered a sage era.
And I did, and set off the fire alarm for the building.
Oh.
I know.
So then everyone had to go watch the blood moon outside.
So I'm really sorry to anyone who's in my building. I don't know if it went off in the whole building, but a man did knock on my door and said, "Did you set off the fire alarm?"
And you said, "Yes, I was saging."
And I had to apologise. So, yeah.
He was like, "Get off your witchy bandwagon."
But
retire the woo-woo.
What I loved was like just taking a moment to experience something. Like I actually didn't do anything for the 2 hours, didn't speak to anybody, just watched the moon. And we're just like taking it all in. And I was just like, this is so nice. And I don't do that enough.
That's lovely. I intermittently napped and then I was woken up.
Such a Farah answer. Yeah. For everybody listening to the show, Farah's superpower, which I learned very early in our friendship, is that she can sleep anywhere.
I just love sleep so much. So I would just go into the house, fall asleep, and Eddie woke me up for like significant moments of this moon. And that was I'd already been asleep for a little while at 10:15 when I went to go see it. What a treat.
That is
I loved
treat.
it. And then I just took myself upstairs and I thought, the moon was beautiful today. But yeah, amazing. So that was Sunday night.
That was Sunday night, yes.
And ever since then, the moon has gone back to classic moon operations. And I just keep looking at it thinking, I wish we were big, bold and red.
Yeah, it is nice though that we can actually see it. Like in the UK, like it's so often covered in cloud that you don't experience all of the lunar activities. Anyway, Let's crack on now with our first story of today, which we spoke about last week.
Yes, we did.
But we want to speak about again.
Because there has just been so much more to talk about in the Voice of Hind Rajab film, which had a very big week at Venice last week.
Yeah, so just to go back, in case you missed last week's episode, Hind Rajab was a Palestinian girl who was terribly trapped in a car, absolutely horrific story. 5-year-old girl trapped in a car and was killed by Israeli forces. And during this moment, when she was trapped in the car, she was calling emergency services. She was on the phone to emergency services, surrounded by dead members of her family. It's an absolutely horrific story that has been immortalised now in film, and it is called The Voice of Hind Rajab.
So the film, we sort of touched on the synopsis of it last week, but the film is set completely in a Red Crescent office with emergency workers speaking to Hind. And in the film, so it's described as a docu-fiction. So it is a film, it is a drama set within the the Red Crescent Emergency Centre. But they use real audio of Hind's call. So it's incredibly impactful. The director, Kauthar Ben-Hania, she has permission from Hind's mother, Wasim, who gave the permission for Hind's voice to be used in this film. And I think that has been incredibly impactful and part of why this film has been received as it was received last week in Venice.
It was received with the highest, we have this every single, at Venice Film Festival, even in Cannes, is how long the ovation lasts for. How long do people clap for? So people stand up and they clap, and it's kind of like a signifier of how well something has been received or how impactful it is. And this got 24 minutes. People were standing and clapping. 24 minutes.
So that set the record for Venice. It's longer than Cannes, and people are reporting that it might be the longest standing ovation at any international film festival.
Wow.
So that's a hard to kind of verify fact, but it is definitely the longest at Venice, and it's longer than other films have received a standing ovation for at Cannes. So we had a journalist in Venice, and he has reviewed the film. He describes it, the word that he uses is it's devastating, which I think we would be able to foresee. But it is, the film it's been received incredibly well. It won the second prize at the film festival, the Silver Lion.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
Which is incredible. So it's won the second prize, and I think we might be able to play you a little clip now of what the director had to say after she won.
The voice of Hind is the voice of Gaza itself. A cry for rescue the entire world could hear, yet no one answered. Her voice will continue. Her voice will continue to echo until accountability is real, until justice is served. We all believe in the force of cinema. It's what gathers us here tonight and what gives us the courage to tell stories that might otherwise be buried. Cinema cannot bring Hind back, nor can it erase the atrocity committed against her. May Hind's soul rest in peace. May the eyes of her killers never sleep, and free Palestine. Thank you.
She actually spoke to us, the director of the film, the Tunisian director, whose name is Kauthar Ben-Hania. I love that name. She spoke to us.
Yeah, so the same journalist, James Mottram, who reviewed the film for us, spoke to her while in Venice. The interview's phenomenal. I urge everyone to go and read it and kind of see what she has to say about the film, the process of making the film, and kind of what drove her to make it. But in my nutshell that I can give you now, she basically says that when she heard these recordings of Hind's call and read the kind of full story of what happened to this little girl who was reaching out for help and was found in a car that had more than 300 bullets in it when investigators were able to get to investigate it days after she had died. The director says that she kind of dropped other projects that she was working on. This was last year, and this film was made in like 3 weeks. It was pretty quick turnaround, and then has been on the kind of then run out for festivals and picked up obviously at Venice. She speaks about, there's been some criticism of the film where people have accused it of being deliberate. I think Variety said they were using deliberate tearjerker tactics, but she kind of has like a response for that, and that is that this film wasn't meant to make anybody feel comfortable. She says in our interview, Hind's mother, she's mourning, she doesn't have a comfortable life. So if people are thinking, oh, it's not moral to do this, for me, I have the blessing of her mother. It's important that Hind's voice stays. And like we said at the top, like it is, the impact of this film is the fact that it's Hind's voice.
Yeah, and in her acceptance speech to the award, she also mentions how, that's why everyone goes into cinema. People go into cinema because they want to, tell a story that has impact on this world and is seen in that way. And like, this is just one of those moments. So I think like we just have to, hopefully it gets further. I really want to see the film.
Yeah, I really want to see the film. She's cast a full cast of Palestinian actors to play the Red Crescent workers.
Incredible.
And so it's, yeah, I really want to see it. I'm hoping it gets picked up by distributors. We've seen this a lot at film festivals in the last couple of years, that these platforms are really amplifying, especially Palestinian films or films about Palestine. There's kind of like a dual thread there, and encouraging distributors to pick them up, show them around the world, whether it's in North America, Europe, here in the UAE, here in the GCC. So yeah, I'm really hoping that it isn't too long before we see The Voice of Hind Rajab in cinemas here or on a streamer here, because yeah,
that's how we consume video. It's interesting because I did want to bring in like a more, something that's happened this week as well, that over 1,000 people who work in the industry, movies, actors, directors, have signed now this petition, and it's got huge names. Like we were talking about it earlier, like Pedro Pascal, Riz Ahmed. You have Mark Ruffalo, Olivia Colman. So all of these huge names have signed a letter now saying that they won't work with any companies complicit in genocide.
And Israeli film bodies.
Israeli film bodies, yes. Yeah. So this is a shift, right? Are we seeing a cultural shift now?
We've spoken about this, like, for sure. It is definitely changing. And this film, The Voice of Hind Rajab, we spoke about this a bit last week with the Hollywood names that kind of came on to back the film as producers significantly after the film was made. I think that can't be skipped as a kind of part of the timeline. Like, it was Ben Hania that had like the courage to kind of propel this film forward, but it's amazing that she's got this backing now. And then she was flagged on the red carpet by Rooney Mara, by Joaquin Phoenix, who are two of the celebrities that have kind of stepped in to back this film. There are also people that have their names on that list of 1,300 celebrities that are boycotting certain film bodies, boycotting or refusing to work with, however you want to read that. But she was on the red carpet for this film, kind of flanked by these two celebrities. They were all holding a photograph of Hind Rajab, so she was on that red carpet.
She was with them,
and we spoke about this last week, where what I think about kind of like celebrities lending their voice to things and people putting too much weight in celebrity, but there really is something in these household names around the world that are sort of saying, look at this. And if that is, look at this film, and if this film is people's way in, and I mean, I think so many of us will remember the death of Hind Rajab as a very significant moment in this ongoing violence. Like, this felt so cruel. It felt, and the very human element of it, which every day there's a human element to what's going on, but there was something extremely tangible. A 5-year-old girl who was asking for help, who then, it was impossible for emergency services to get to that 5-year-old girl. She was sat in a car with her dead relatives around her. Like every single part of that narrative is just straight cruelty.
And there are countless stories like this, but it still helps to pick out some of these stories, give them a name, give them a face.
Yeah.
For people to actually contextualize.
Literally a voice.
And literally a voice. For people to actually contextualize what is going on.
And for them to not just be the numbers are huge, but I think there can be a bit of number blindness and people become a bit numb to things.
Yeah. People don't actually think when you say 50,000 or 60,000, people aren't actually thinking of individual faces.
No. And then if her death was people's way in originally, or this film is people's way in to kind of start seeing and trying to understand. I don't think anyone has a full understanding of what's really happening because it changes so much, and there is just like such a enormous span of pain and suffering and cruelty what's happening in Gaza at the moment. But if this is a way in for people, then I think it can only be good that international celebrities are trying to spotlight it as much as they can, where they can.
Nice. Let's have a break.
Let us take a break.
I need a break. And hello, and we're back.
We are back. We've got another story to talk about now, which is a literature story.
Yes, it's a literature story. It's about a new book that has come out by an Indian author and screenwriter, Chetan Bhagat. And it's titled 12 Years, My Messed Up Love Story.
Yes.
So, do you want to tell why this has caused a bit of controversy in India? I like the fact we're taking a story from somewhere else.
Well, I think the kind of controversy is right there in the name of the book. So it's a teaser that's been released, and the teaser from HarperCollins, which is the publisher, says he's 33, she's 21, he's divorced, she's never had a boyfriend, he's Punjabi, she's Jain, they shouldn't work, but they can't stay apart. And so a lot of people are it's there in the title, but it's the age gap that has got people kind of saying, this is kind of creepy.
Yeah, and because it's not just age, right? It's also, they do have different religions as well, which always sparks up controversy in India. I think Jain.
Yeah, and I think that that's the kind of, without flattening something, but it's the kind of star-crossed lovers of like, you aren't allowed to, but that's very well kind of trod territory. But people have really
homed in
on the age gap.
I
mean, so has the author. It's put it right there in the title.
Yeah, so some people are saying it's kind of like strange that you have an age gap. He's 33 and 21. Now, personally, I saw this and it didn't really faze me that much. I feel like age gap relationships like happen everywhere, all over the world.
Yeah.
In the Middle East, they're quite common, I would suspect.
So there's the kind of, I think, kind of summing it up, somebody online has described it as smut in the name of fiction, and then other people have sort of said, okay, yeah, let's carry on normalizing creepiness and grooming and just turn it into another Bollywood film. I've sort of paraphrased that. So I had the same reaction as you. I thought, okay, 12. So first of all, everything that's happening here is pretty legal, right?
Okay,
she's 21, he's 33.
Yeah.
And 12 years is not
It's
the
not
biggest
20 years.
age gap. No. I do think, this is the way my brain works with age gaps is kind of like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm 30, how old am I? 36. If I was hanging out with a 23-year-old, like, what would I be chatting about? Like, I don't think,
like, what do you have in common?
Yeah, like, I don't think there's that many common interests. And I think that's kind of where there's
but maybe like you're really dull and then you find
Thank
someone.
you so much. I am.
Like imagine like you're kind of like, I'm like a bit of a man child. I'm 33. There's a 21-year-old. Oh, she's sprightly.
Well, this is what people sort of...
she hasn't met many people yet, so she thinks I'm quite nice.
Well, a lot of we see it so often, or more often, with older men, younger women. That is not always the case, but it's... No. I think the common kind of worry or criticism is power dynamics, right?
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, that it comes both ways as well. So if there's a much older woman with a much younger man, people always question the power dynamics. Like Macron famously is married to someone much older than him, the French president.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he is married to someone much older.
Brigitte.
And Brigitte.
Who was his teacher.
Macron, who was his teacher. So it does kind of get creepy vibes. But
I think you've taken us into territory that I would
I was like, it's absolutely fine.
But that's a big age gap, and then there's a power dynamic.
There's a power dynamic. And I think that's when people get more kind of like prickly.
So I have done some little bit of research in age gaps in literature and film, and kind of thinking about the difference between modern and kind of 20th century literature. So in 20th century literature, it's everywhere. So you've got like Jane Eyre.
Yeah.
Jane's 19 when she falls in love with an older Mr. Rochester who's more than 20 years her senior. And then in Rebecca, Daphne du Maurier's, our unnamed young heroine marries an older widower. He's at least 15 years older than her. It's like similar in Lolita. And so and they're all younger women and older men. That's very much a theme.
And they're not all written by men.
No, they're 50-50 there on my list.
Yeah.
And then in more modern literature, what I thought was quite interesting is that it is less common in modern literature, in kind of very popular novels. But there's like Call Me By Your Name, which is set in the 80s though. So yes, the book was released in 2007, but it's set in the 80s. That book has become a lot more popular since the Timothée Chalamet film.
Yes.
So it's much less, but then in film, we have The Graduate and Manhattan. Manhattan is a Woody Allen film. That's another can of worms that I think we might
not want to go into. The Graduate, very famous.
Yeah, Mrs. Robinson. It's become a whole thing.
It's become a whole thing. I used that recently to a friend who has just started dating someone a bit younger, and I was like, oh, Mrs. Robinson.
There we go.
And she was like, what? What are you talking about? And I was like, it's like very popular, very famous film. And there's Mrs. Robinson, who's much older lady.
But I would say that when it's the older ladies that we are kind of quick to kind of be like, oh, like it's creepy.
No, but like, are we though? Because this was one of the things that I wanted to bring up, because, you know, we have seen, for instance, like the famous one is Sam Taylor Johnson and Aaron Taylor Johnson. Now, when Sam Taylor Johnson met him, she was 42.
And he was
19.
In his teens?
Yes, and he was in his teens. Now, I've met them, and he has actually got quite an old soul. So I was like, well, yeah, I can see how this works.
And they've been together for a very long time. He's now in his 30s.
Yeah, I think they have children together.
Yeah, they do.
So, like, obviously sometimes it works. But then we kind of sweep past when it's men. So George Clooney, Amal. George Clooney, 52, when he met her, 35.
I mean, honestly, Enas, if we were going to do a podcast about older men marrying and dating younger women, we would be here forever.
But
it would be a never-ending podcast of us just listing celebrity men that date younger women, and everyone would just be like, "Oh, I thought they were just happy and in love." Like we've got Brigitte and Sam Taylor Johnson as our two female examples.
But do we feel that culturally people are less accepting of it, like because of the reaction this novel's got?
No, this thing people are like, yeah, it's creepy.
But also, like, think about the Leo. So Leo DiCaprio gets pulled up on this all the time
because it's
creepy. He doesn't say anyone over 20.
Limit.
Is it 25?
And hasn't his girlfriend just turned 26? And everyone's like, whoa, he's growing up. It's like, yeah, he's in his 50s. Again, I go back to it. What is a man in his 50s talking to a 25-year-old about?
I just think that he must be quite dull.
Or,
like he's just that.
Don't young soul me, because we old soul the young ones.
We've all got a young soul. Everyone.
I don't. My soul's ancient.
Really?
It's tired. I love being asleep. We covered that already.
I think that like my soul's gradually got a bit younger.
Yeah, we're aging differently.
Yeah, and I do think, actually, I was talking about this when we were talking to the producers about this show. Is I think that when women marry older men, much older men, the man kind of like goes, like they kind of somehow meet in the middle in their age, because the man kind of feels a bit young, but the woman does feel a bit old. And I think that they do kind of like eventually, like I'm saying like after 60, they kind of do just kind of like meet in the same, like around
So
about.
what, like in their, somehow they just both become in their 40s and everyone's
No,
like, okay, this is
no.
sound.
They kind of both become, like say she's 60 and he's 70, they both become 66.
Okay, like,
That's my theory.
good. But then this is interesting because like 60 and 70, I'm not like, what do they talk about? They talk about the same thing. They talk about...
Well, that's it. We're like, I think that age gap gets less.
What's that? Like Antiques Roadshow.
Really?
That's what I talk about in my house as well.
That's because
if I was in
you're an old soul.
I don't actually have that here to watch. My research uncovered something that I did not like though, that I would like to talk about.
Oh,
and it is.
You've left this. This didn't come up in the meeting.
Because I was not in the meeting. I was having a day off. I just sent my notes. Is a new show on Netflix.
Okay.
It is a dating show. Is well versed. I love reality TV. So do you.
Yeah.
You love what's the one that we love?
Love is Blind.
Love is Blind. Although I've kind of fallen off it, but whatever.
Yeah.
There's a new show coming to Netflix in 2026 called Age of Attraction.
Finally.
I think they've gone too far.
What?
It is a show that is centered on exploring whether age gap relationships hinder or help genuine romantic connection, demonstrating that age gap relationships are being mainstreamed and they're becoming more mainstream. This show is coming in 2026, and in this show it's hosted by a couple, just like Love is Blind. And it is hosted by someone who I had never heard of until this research, who was on The Bachelor, called Nick Vial, I don't know. He is a 44-year-old man. He was on The Bachelor and things. That's a realm of reality TV show that I've never dipped my toe into.
Yeah.
He's married to somebody called Natalie Joy. Together they have a podcast called the Vial Files, the VL Files. She's 26.
26? And he's 44.
So that's an 18-year age gap. And they're here to be all, hey, look.
It's fine.
Our
Works
age gap
for
is
us.
fine. But
she does what I say.
They're going to host this new experiment featuring singles ranging from 22 to 59.
You see, now when you said the title, I was thinking we're going to watch old people date or older people date that maybe have more to say.
Oh, I thought it was weird that you were into this show.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, great. We're going to hear from people who maybe have a little bit more like...
Oh, that show already exists on Netflix and I love it.
Called?
It's called like Silver Love or something.
Ah.
I've watched that.
Have they got actual things to say to each other
no,
rather than just like...
It's very similar to everyone else. They're like...
Because when I watch Love Island or these shows and it's just like, can I pull you for a chat? And I'm like, oh, what's the chat going to be like? So, am I your type? I'm like, wow. Like, is that all you can talk about? Like,
Silver Foxes and Silver Vixens, whatever they're called in this show, are like, he's just not my type. They've just been pulling these games for 50 years, not 5.
Oh, that's quite sad. It's quite sad. I was honestly, I mean, I have this like imaginary, like, a Love Island. And in my imaginary Love Island, when the cameras are off, they're all talking about politics and like what's going on like in Gaza or cultural
I remember, so I was quite into Love Island a few like years and years ago.
Yeah.
Early seasons, kind of like when we had like a Danny Dyer situation on there.
Ooh, yes. Those were the best.
Yeah.
I've kind of dropped off now.
But then I kind of checked back in a little bit and it was more Gen Z. Now it's going to be borderline Gen Alpha at some stage. But Gen Z and it was a lot more mental health focused. And I thought, this is good. We're growing.
Yeah, they're more about boundaries.
I did not remember Danny Dyer talking about mental health or boundaries while on Love Island. I'm sure she is in real life.
I'm sure she does.
She's very focused. She's got a lovely family. Oh. So anyway, my conclusion is this book, he knew what he was up to. He's put it in the title.
Yeah, and he's sparked a conversation. And here we all are talking about it. Well done, him. Should we go on to recommendations? Yeah. I am going to recommend first. So the Abu Dhabi Cultural Foundation, which is one of my favourite hubs in Abu Dhabi. It's kind of like if you have ever been to London and you've been to the South Bank Centre and you want to have that kind of vibe, you go to Abu Dhabi Cultural, you can go to the Children's Library basically. And it's in this like really beautiful building. You can roam around. They've always got exhibitions on. But they have a theatre there as well. And they release the programmes for this coming season. And I just wanted to share that I think all parents should just check out what they've got on, because they've got some half-term bits and bobs. And they've also got Shakespeare for Kids.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
we said we're going to go to this together.
I think we should.
Exciting, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's Midsummer
Midsummer Night's Dream?
Midsummer Night's Dream.
Not Midsummer, the Florence Pugh film, which I will never watch.
Not that. And I just think that, like, yeah, it's really worth checking out and getting to see some like really fun cultural things that are aimed at children. And there are some things obviously for adults too, but check it out. We've got a listing as well on our website, which Saeed has written, our great reporter. And so you can check them all out there and then just click on the links. Yeah.
Oh, lovely. I am recommending a book this week, and with it, a little side note of an exercise. Before Eddie and I went on holiday, we had this like little day out, and we both went to a bookshop. We parted ways in the bookshop, and we had a little challenge to find a book for each other.
Nice.
And one that we thought we were each going to enjoy. And he found this for me. It was called Little Monsters by Adrian Bruder. And it is set in Cape Cod. And we were going to Cape Cod on holiday this summer, and so that's why he chose it. But I am absolutely loving it. It is the story. I'm like 80% of the way through. I told you that yesterday morning I had a day off, and I did not get out of bed until nearly 11 because I was sat there reading. I couldn't stop reading. It explores the story of a older marine biologist and his 2 adult children, and kind of it's a bit of it's like a pleasantly slow. It is like a summer holiday in a book,
okay,
but not like a beach read. It is like it's slow and considered, and it's each of the family members different versions of events, and I have my favorite family members and the ones that I'm not wild about, but in like a way that you're kind of, I think, meant to be. And it is, so it's just kind of about a family and their dynamic, and they live in Cape Cod, and it just, I'm enjoying kind of revisiting my summer holiday. And
very fancy area.
Oh, they're very fancy people in this
My
book.
brother's just moved near there.
I want to escape back every single summer. I loved it so much. I'm never going to stop raving about how much I love Cape Cod. And there's a character in the book who's got a dog called Frida.
No, stop.
I love it. And she's an artist, and I'm like, oh, I wish I was you, Abby. With a studio near Provincetown, or P-Town, as we locals call it.
I'm so happy that you have found that in a book.
Take me back to the Cape.
So, Little Monsters.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Right.
Really lovely book.
Oh, lovely. Well, that's it for today. Thank you so much.
That's it, you've stopped.
Yeah, that's it. We've calmed down. Why, have you got something else to say?
That's it for today. No, I
today.
liked it. You just usually say more.
That's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for listening. If you have enjoyed this podcast, please do like and subscribe on your favourite apps.
And you can find us on YouTube on the National News Channel, and over on Instagram at The National Arts. We'll see you next Thursday. Bye.
Bye.